Oh, stunning, and here she is. Now, at last, we've got you in the studio.
I know, here I am with you guys.
We've been waiting for such a long time. And how's your mum?
Yeah, she's good. She's a fan, watches every day, so I have to say hello. I call her Mary. It was a nickname originally given to my cat, and eventually my mum took it over. Slightly weird, but hi, Mary. I hope you're well.
Yeah.
Hi, Mary.
Good morning. Lovely to see you. It has been the most extraordinary, and I think in your word, insane year.
Yes, that's a word that has passed my lips a few times this year. But it doesn't really, I mean, my album came out in March, so I'm halfway there, so people talk to me about the year, because, you know, sort of the 2008 thing, I suppose, is nearing the end. But I feel like, you know, one side of me feels as though it went so quickly, and the other side feels like I'm just starting out. It's kind of strange.
Well, it was, you know, we hadn't heard of Duffy, and then Rock Ferry burst onto the scene, and then we see you everywhere, the records played everywhere, so it must be a little bit crazy for you to go around, suddenly everybody knows who you are, calling your name, booking you for shows. You know, how are you feeling about the kind of fame side of it all?
It's an interesting question, because I think people would assume that I feel famous, but you don't really, because you just get on with your everyday life. And it wasn't as though I suddenly had a newborn baby in my hands that I had to suddenly deal with, because music is something that I've had sort of in my hands, if you like, forever. I left home at 15 to begin this journey, 24 now. So, you know, that's like an old pro. I've almost had a decade at it. So I feel like it's come at a good time for me, but at the same time it is difficult to associate myself with the public image that I've created in a weird way.
Rough Trade Records hadn't found you when they did in, what was it, 2004?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
That feels about right.
Would you, because that was a time when you really had thought, oh, do you know, I've been to Europe, you know, I've done my best, it's not coming together, I may very well pack this in.
Yeah, I really was. You know, I decided to retire, not from singing, because that was the only thing that was going to make me happy, but I decided to retire in a sense, the hunger, you know, because the hunger was sometimes quite, it was a little bit, I don't know, suffocating to want to leave a small town and make a record and be a real artist. When I used to say to people I wanted to be an artist, they used to laugh at me, because, you know, in the 90s, music was a little bit different then, sort of, not manufactured, because that's a bit unfair, but, you know, it wasn't as organic as it is today.
And, of course, you got chucked out the choir at school.
I did. Many knockbacks. But the glass is always half full, so I thought that was a good challenge, you know, and I went into other avenues, because, you know, in Wales, music is massive, you know, the choirs and everything. So maybe it was good that I didn't slip into the sort of more classical, so, you know, because it's quite operatic, I suppose. So I kind of went into the more kind of broken voice soul route.
But it is very soulful, your music. There's a real soul. Did you grow up, did your parents like soul music? Where's that soulful kind of side of your music come from?
I really don't know. My sister tells me that when she hears me sing, that it's exactly as it should be from my character. And I don't know what she means by that, but she seems to, you know, as somebody who knows she's my twin sister, so she knows me so well, and she says that I sound...
You must be a soulful person.
Yeah, maybe. And she thinks sometimes I sound a bit vulnerable, and I played her one of the new songs recently, which I never really do, because I kind of keep my music separate, but she cried, which was quite an interesting reaction.
Yeah,
you know?
Someone who knows you very well.
So I'm letting them in a little bit more. They're starting to, you know, come to my gigs and stuff now, because I'm getting a bit more confident.
Yes, and you're touring a lot, aren't you? So this is obviously a side of the music that you love, which is getting out there and performing, and you've been to America, and you're going to do a UK tour. Tickets are already selling out fast.
Yeah.
What is it about the kind of touring and the concerts that you like so much?
I don't really know, because it's not as glamorous as people would expect.
No, and hard work.
It really is, you know, from different country every day. You know, and you sleep on a bus. I sleep on a bus with like 11 men.
Ooh,
Trust me, that's an interesting experience. So it's a tricky one. You know, you can spend 8 hours travelling just for 1 hour on stage, and then that makes you live your life kind of as the singer rather as the person, because I'm always... It's kind of strange. I don't want to talk about it as two people, but I'm trying to marry my public persona with who I am inside, you know. Because, I mean, of course, music is my life, but I'm just trying to manage it, you know, on an everyday basis now.
I like the attitude you've got, actually, to touring and to concerts and things, because there are some performers who are a bit complacent when it comes to performing live, and they get paid an enormous amount of money, and they'll get out there and they'll sort of market and do the stuff, and you come away thinking, do you know, actually that was a bit disappointing. That wasn't quite what I expected. But I've read that you said that that especially now when money's a bit tight, that when you come to see a Duffy concert, you'll have put everything into it because you know that people have cashed out.
I haven't cancelled the gig this year, which I feel so proud of. Even when I was unwell, a couple of glasses of red wine normally did the trick before I went on, and I felt, you know, once the adrenaline kicked in, I was fine. So I just think it's so important that people, you know, that people come for a great night. And when I sing on stage, it's not about me. It's not about me standing there, because actually I don't really feel that good. You know, you're on stage, you're really vulnerable. There's 3,000 people there to watch you. There's nothing great about it. It's something I'm compelled to do, and I hope that people have a good time for themselves.
That surprises me. That's a real surprise. You're not enjoying it. You feel vulnerable.
Yeah, I do enjoy it because I have to do it. So it's like when I do it, it's quite cathartic, because I feel that when I don't do it, I feel quite like I'm not living to my full potential.
So where
in
do you
music.
feel most comfortable then when you're writing?
Do you know, it's an unusual one. I don't know if, you know, music is something that I have to do, but I don't know if I wake up every morning feeling as though I've won the lottery. You know, it's like, it's a part of me, so I just get on with it. It's not like I'm...
Are you saying there are days when you think, I wish I wasn't doing this, I didn't have to get up and write a song or perform, or I could kind of slob about in my pyjamas or do something else?
Not really, because I'm a little bit OCD. So even on the roads, when I'm, you know, touring here, there and everywhere, and I've only got 4 hours to spare, I'm straight into the studio writing new songs. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Sometimes I find myself genuinely standing on stage in front of thousands of people thinking, ooh, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I just feel like as though I have to.
Well, you sound to me like a record company's dream, really, because when normally people be saying, oh God, where's the new material for the album? Where's the stuff? You say that you use writing as a therapy, so you get success, and because you're successful, you feel you have to find time to write, and then once you finish writing, of course, you've got to promote that, so that makes that successful. So you sit back and you write some more. So they must love you.
Well, you know, I suppose. But what it is for me is, I think that, you know, success is something you can't touch or feel, and people talk to me about success as though I know it. And I don't really know success, you know. All I know is that I made some songs and they connected with people. So I have to remind myself what all this is about. And the only thing it's about is music. So I run away to the studio and do some more songs, and then I connect again with what this journey is all about.
So if that's how you feel, and you feel that you are, obviously you feel incredibly lucky, you feel at times a bit uncomfortable, and that, my God, how did I don't feel famous. So with all of that, and you're trying to keep yourself as normal and grounded as possible, when you get a hard time in the papers, or, you know, when your private life is looked into, how does that make you feel?
It's an interesting one, because my private life is the only thing that I want to protect. You know, my family, because I got into this through my own will. They didn't, you know, they got dragged in sort of behind me, I suppose. And so it really is a massive kind of priority for me to make sure that that's kept secretive, and not only, there's nothing to hide, but
private.
It's important that they don't feel suddenly as though their life's bombarded by this this newfound life that I've got.
And is that what, because you know, obviously when the minute something comes out, a record comes out, people start listening to the words, and what does Rain on Your Parade actually mean? What is it about? You know, so that's the new single. So what is that about?
When I was younger, my favourite word was yes, and now that I'm approaching womanhood, and I'm very much in control of what I'm doing. You know, I have to be, because I'm the sort of person who can lie awake until 3 a.m. chewing my nails and worrying about things. So I have to make sure that everything's in the right place. And I have got wonderful, wonderful people that I share this with, and I work with. And so really, Rain on Your Parade is very much about me saying no. You know, for the people who want, you know, give an inch, take a mile, and all those sorts of things.
So learning to say no.
Yeah,
How old are you now?
24.
Yes, very young. Well, you've got a great, sensible head on your shoulders, clearly, and obviously a very supportive loving family that you can kind of run home to.
Yeah.
It's lovely to see. The new album, Rock Ferry, is the deluxe version of Rock Ferry, isn't it? So
Yes.
it's the songs, but and some.
It's almost like a new album, really, I suppose. Bridging the gap. I didn't want to leave it too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what have you added?
There's 7 new songs, 3 that I wrote this year, and a few that are from when I was like 18, 19 years old that I didn't want them to die, because I know what I'm like. I move forward all the time. People would say, well, what about this? What about all these things you wrote before that didn't make the record? So it was an opportunity to kind of close this chapter, really, and think about new things.
Well, we are massive fans.
We are.
And
We've
we're
been
so
Thank
glad
you.
to
dying to get you on the
Well, it's
show,
a
and here you
pleasure.
are. We're delighted
Yeah.
And
you
you're going
made
to sing
it.
for us at the end of the show. Going to do Rain on Your Parade at the
I
end
am
of
indeed,
the
yes.
show. Duffy,
Great
thank
song.
you very
A
much
pleasure
indeed.
so much.
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot.
And say hi to your mum.
I will. Hi, Mum.
She's lovely.
What a lovely,
Absolutely
lovely girl,
lovely.
isn't she?